Hello and thanks for joining me in this episode, saving for your first big purchase. I know how hard it can be. You've got something in mind, you're planning to buy something and you're like, how can I get there? Don't worry, I've got you covered. In today's episode, I'm going to go down and break down some ways to help you get over this challenge. Everything I'm talking about today is available in the show notes. So check out zulftalks.com where you'll be able to get this list, and it actually makes it a bit easier for you, basically, so you don't have to write it down when you're listening to me. Define your goal, we're going to cover in this episode. Create a budget, savings accounts, automatic transfers, emergency funds, research and compare prices, cut unnecessary expenses, side hustles, additional income, what's out there, what's available, is there something you can think about? Don't worry, we got you covered in today's episode. Stay motivated, we're going to review and adjust as things go ahead. So defining your goal is going to be quite important. Is this going to be like, are we doing like a proper dedicated define your goal? Not really. All we're saying is, I want to buy a motorcycle. How much is it costing me? £12,000, $12,000, $14,000. Okay, that's my goal. That's it. What do you want? How much does it cost? It can be as simple as that. So this is a good element, because once you know what the cost is, what you want to buy, the rest of it falls into place, and we're going to cover how this is going to be. So in my example, we're buying a motorcycle, about $10,000, $14,000, and what is that going to mean to, okay, so we've got our goal now. Create a budget. So can I reasonably buy a motorcycle for £10,000? Is my salary enough to be able to save for it? Will it take me a really long time? Or do I need to adjust it and maybe lower my expectations of buying motorcycles that's more within my reach of buying it sooner? How quickly do I want it? The budget element of this is going to be around, what do you already pay for? How much do you want? Can we find a medium interim ground? Because what that does for you is it allows you to adjust it. So if you don't know how much you're spending, you can't create a budget. If you know you've got a budget, then you're going to look at things, okay, instead of buying a £10,000 motorcycle, let me go in and look at a used motorcycle and see if that can be about 5,000, which means I can get it quicker. So budget's very important, and you want to consider that as part of borrowing, especially around money matters and issues like that. So the budget element's covered nicely now. So we've got a couple of things under our belt. Well done. Thank you for joining me here. Now, once we've worked out those couple of little things, it's an essential part of creating a goal. And then to achieve your goal, we need to make sure that we can have a place where we can put money, and that money is not going to go anywhere. Open a dedicated savings account. I'm going to call that account my motorcycle account, and the money's going to be sitting in there, the goal of which is to buy the motorcycle. So that little step there is going to be helpful, because you can start putting money towards your goal and your budget. Now, when you make regular payments towards something, it would help you to increase the likelihood of you buying what you want and getting it quicker. So if you've got a salary and it allows you to put a little bit of money away, like say for example you're getting £1,000, $1,000 every week or something, once you've got that money, taking £100 out and putting it into an automatic transfer, which means then that money goes towards the motorcycle in the savings account. So before you're used to spending it, it's already gone. So you're increasing the likelihood of buying that item. If it's a house deposit, automatic transferring money out to another account and slowly letting that build. If you never see it, you'll get used to spending less money. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. But automatic transfers are as simple as going to your banking app and just making a transaction saying, you know what, every month at this date, out of this account, take X amount out, put into this account. That's it. So we talked early on in the season about savings accounts, current accounts, what's the benefits of them. This links back to those early episodes in this season where we discovered and talked about that. Automatic transfers. So as part of this, there will be emergency things that come up. So if you're saving towards a goal, I want to buy a motorcycle, I want to save some money towards it, there's always going to be something that comes up that hinders your ability. I've saved a couple of £1,000, wow, I'm doing really good. Oh no, the car engine blew up, the boiler's gone down. So you need to consider an emergency fund. So how this works is, say for example we originally had a budget for a motorcycle. Why did I not buy the £10,000 motorcycle? Why did I consider another option which is a bit cheaper? The reason for that was I wanted to build in an emergency fund, because if we're on the route of saving money towards a target, I don't want to get hampered by an emergency happening and then I'm back to square one. If I'm building into my budget an idea of saving money to have a little bit of money put aside for the item I want and also having it for an emergency fund, then I know I've got more scope to carry on. So even if something bad happens, you've still got some money there towards, okay, yeah, we've taken some money towards the emergency, but you know what, we can still make it happen because we're lowering our expectations and not buying the most expensive item. So that is just life, I think. Sometimes you have to compromise a little bit, whereas the alternative would have been we use all the money up, and then how likely are you to start again from scratch? Something that's going in momentum, it's easier. Starting from scratch can be very hard. So emergency funds can be set up. Think about them. Research and compare prices. So this is where the other element of this happens. So if you're thinking about buying and you're researching what you're buying, you're researching what accounts you're going to be using to save the money in, you might find good benefits of using certain accounts that give you more savings over other accounts. So a little bit of research goes a long way. So making sure if you're buying something, is it the right thing to buy? Are there any hidden costs? Wait a minute, I'm buying a motorcycle. Do I have a motorcycle license? Motorcycle license cost me another £2,000. So these little, obviously I've got one, but if you don't have a license or you need to buy motorcycle gear, helmets, leathers, that can be really expensive safety equipment. So in that same example, buying a house, the solicitor fees, you need renovation fees, moving fees, all these little things that mount up that you don't think about. So researching and comparing prices to see if you can get that elsewhere better will help you a lot, especially towards buying what you need to buy. And we touched on this in the savings account episode. You remember, cut unnecessary expenses. Just have a look at your statement. There's going to be things in there that you're paying for. Do you need them? You sure? You sure you need them? Okay, I'll slip over that one. And next one we've got here is side hustle or additional income. I don't like that word side hustle, but we're using it because a lot of people know what it means. Can you do something that earns you a little bit more money? Are you really good at photography? Are you really good at editing? Are you really good at talking to people? Are you really good at being creative? Can you use those and go to your local shops and offer them services and make a little bit of money? You can, because I do it. Last week I went out to a couple of shops and offered them special engraved QR codes for scanning, and I sold loads. Obviously I've got an engraving company, so at some point I'm going to let you know about the full scope of everything I do. But I basically went to the store. I've got the engraving company, so we've got these little tags that we do, and that's like an opportunity that wouldn't have been there otherwise. So like you engrave QR codes, sublimation, printing, that kind of thing. And yeah, loads of people wanted them. They put them on their tables, so when customers come in, they can scan the code and go to the menu and website. And then I've made the website for them as well. And then they wanted me to come and do video of their products and the restaurant food. So it's like, what? Okay, so there's loads of scope out there. You're just being brave and going out there and asking for opportunities to do stuff. And then, yeah, additional income will help you get to your goal a lot quicker, because that money is basically just profit because you didn't know you were going to get it. So keep your options open. Everybody's got something that they're good at. And the motivation side of this is very important, especially if you get some extra income from like side grants. So if you do things like what I mentioned, if you go and offer your services out and you get extra money, it's going to motivate you more to save towards your goal of buying the motorbike, the house deposit, whatever it is you're deciding. In my case, we're doing the motorcycle. And the motivation side of it is seeing that money build up and remembering why you're saving. So that's very important. I think it keeps you on your feet, on your toes, and you can review and adjust as time goes on. So don't be worried if this month is not gone as well. You can reduce the amount you're putting in and then find another month that you'll put more in. So it's a like a juggling game, isn't it? This month's been really busy, we need money for something else. Okay, next month I need to be careful and not spend something that I would have normally spent because I need to catch up, basically. So having a visible way of doing that is if you have a savings account, you can use the app to have like a little pie chart where it shows you how much money you're making. So some people like visual elements, so that can help you in that scenario. And adjusting and reviewing is not a bad idea. If this month you don't reach target, don't worry, you got next month. Just keep on top of it and understand the reason you're doing it and what you want to get at the end of it. Remember, everything I'm talking about today is available on zulftalks.com. You click on show resources and you can actually access this, so you don't have to worry about making notes. To summarize, all I've covered today is we defined our goal for the big purchase that we want to buy. We're creating a budget. We opened account, savings account if you don't already have one. If you're following this episode, you're probably quite good now because you've seen me talk about a lot of this stuff. Emergency funds, researching, thinking about unnecessary expenses, additional income, staying motivated. So all of this will help you to just stay on top of things. So I'm hoping this episode's been useful for you and it gives you an idea of what we're doing here. So the big purchase is a great option, but you know what? Sometimes you might need to borrow money, so you might have to get some credit history. What's the credit history all about? So in my next episode, I'm going to be explaining exactly what credit histories are and how you can check your credit history actually free. So make sure you check out my next episode, which you'll find very interesting. It would be really good if you can leave a review wherever you're listening to this. The show resources are available at zulftalks.com. You can also sign up to the mailing list there, which will allow you to get information to help you on your journey working for yourself.